Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for September 1st. September 1st is the 244th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 245th in leap years, with 121 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is formula. Formula is usually a noun, occasionally an adjective. As a noun, formula, in an oversimplified definition, basically means a particular specific combination of components that make or produce something or lead to a desired result. For example, a formula could be a general fact, rule, or principle, as in, he attributed the success of the company to its innovative business formula, or the team analyzed the sales data to identify the winning marketing formula. A formula can be a symbolic expression of a chemical composition or constitution of a substance, such as the formula for water being H2O. Formula can be a group of symbols, such as letters and numbers, associated to express facts or data, as in, the mathematician devised a complex formula to solve the problem, or Einstein's famous formula E equals mc squared. One could very well consider a recipe to be a formula, like the soft drink Coca-Cola's secret formula. In that vein, you could think of a prescription as a formula, as in, the doctor wrote out the prescription outlining the formula of medications and dosages needed to treat the patient's condition. A specific mixture or milk substitute used for feeding babies is called formula. The word formula is often applied to certain kinds of story writing, like certain components that go into a story, like plot points. One might say the author's novels seemed to follow a similar formula. As an adjective, the word formula might refer to a particular type of vehicle, such as an open-wheel, open-cockpit, rear-engine racing car that conforms to prescribed specifications as to size, weight, and engine displacement, like you might see in Formula One racing. In that case, the idea of a particular specific combination of components is still present in the notion of Formula One racing, or a formula car. So basically, formula has to do with any orderly way, whether it's in regards to a process or an order of operations, a recipe, a prescription, a proven method that gets consistent results, or a particular set of rules. The word formula comes to us from Latin. First known use of the word formula is in the 1630s. Formula. The word formula was suggested by Mr. Bowers, and if you have a word you'd like us to explore in this Word of the Day section, drop it in the comments. We'll take a look at it. And with that, Catherine the Great was Empress of Russia in the second half of the 1700s. She'd come from the German kingdom of Prussia to Russia when she was 15. She worked hard to learn the language, assimilate to the culture, and ingratiate herself to the people. Born Princess Sophie, she acquired the name Catherine II when she converted to the Russian Orthodox faith. She was all in. Catherine II and Peter III of Russia were married when she was 16 and he was 17. Unfortunately, Peter was immature and not romantically interested in his new wife. Peter III came into power as Emperor of Russia when his mother Elizabeth died in 1739, but he only ruled for about 6 months until he was unseated in a coup d'etat, at which time Catherine became the Empress of Russia. There was certainly some intrigue on her part, and of course a lot more to their story, these two. But the reason I'm telling you about any of it today is that on September 1st, 1763, Empress Catherine II of Russia approved plans for an orphanage in Moscow known as the Moscow Orphanage, or the Foundling Home. One goal of this project was to raise ideal citizens for the Russian state by bringing up thousands of abandoned children to a very high standard of refinement, cultivation, and professional qualifications. Unfortunately, the orphanage experienced a stunningly high infant mortality rate, about 87%. That's almost 9 out of 10. And the orphanage failed as a social institute in Catherine's lifetime, despite plenty of staffing and plenty of financing. Things with the orphanage did improve later in the 1800s under the reign of Empress Maria and came closer to achieving its founding goals. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your outlook, the Moscow orphanage is no more, having been disbanded immediately after the Russian Revolution of 1917. This is the birthday of voice actor Hal Douglas, born September 1st, 1924. And what a voice he had. I'm absolutely certain that you've heard his voice if you've been on the planet for a few decades and watched any movie trailers. If you've ever heard any of those clips that go, "In a world where," it might be Hal Douglas. I've included a couple of links to some examples of his voiceover work. Hal Douglas lived to the age of 89. Today's song is Sheila by Tommy Roe, number 1 on September 1st, 1962. Recorded in a style known as the Lubbock sound, made popular by Buddy Holly, Tommy Roe's original inspiration for this song was a girl he went to high school with named Frida, but the producers suggested he change the name. Tommy Roe's Aunt Sheila was visiting, so she was thusly honored. The song hit number 1 on September 1st, 1962, and held that spot for 2 weeks. Sheila by Tommy Roe. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Alrighty, back to work. I think we got it this time.